Hey y'all, this is Dave. I'd like to show you the Quadvan four-wheel drive conversion that John down in Portland at Quadvan just finished for us. I'm out driving some of my favorite roads here in eastern Washington today. I love the smell of ponderosa pines in the sun. Nothing like it. I'm happy with the conversion. The 4-low gear is great for creeping over logs and rocks with lots of torque and control. And the Eaton Trutracs, they're really nice on the pavement. You don't even know they're there. Front and rear limited slip differentials. And the, driving through a little water here. And the clearance is great now. I think I've got 13.5 inches from the trailer hitch to the ground at the rear. Skid plates from the front all the way back to the gas tank. Overall, I'm really liking this. It's a great investment for the places that we like to get to. Up here, out on the back roads, the beach down in Mexico, desert in the southwest, snow in the winter, skiing. But I did hear that Ford was coming out with a all-wheel drive in the 2020 model, but I don't think I'd get the lift and the Eaton Trutracs and the really burly front end that I've got right now. The lake is beautiful today. Such a pretty day. But let's take a look at the underside, shall we? All right, so starting here at the back end, we've got the reduced height shot mounts. What did we lose on that? Two and a half inches? Okay, and those are, you can just unbolt them and stick them on a new axle if you ever need to. You just have to trim off the piece, so no welding.
Yeah, they're doing that on that truck over there right now.
And then is that a 2-inch block there? Yep. A little horn sticking out, and that looks like the Van Compass skid plate for the rear diff.
Correct.
The BFG KO2s.
373 gears with a Trutrac in the back. So now you've got a Trutrac in there.
Any maintenance on that Trutrac?
Standard gear oil. You're not going to have to do limited slip friction modifiers or anything like that.
Okay, and what maintenance interval mileage wise?
Well, if you ask Ford, they'd say 90,000 miles or lifetime. You don't have to change it.
Okay.
I would say, every 30,000 miles, it's not hard to pull the cover off. This makes it a little more difficult, but it's not hard to pull the cover off. Drain the oil. This does, by chance, have the brand new 19 O-ringed gasket instead of the silicone like a lot of the older trucks had.
Okay, and then we got a 2-part drive shaft here to replace the 3-part.
Correct. That's
hanger
a
bearing right there.
standard Transit, and it's got a carrier bracket that moves it into an appropriate distance between the front half, back half, and the right drop in the drive line.
And those, I see Zerk fittings on the...
Yep, they're all greasable. Every time we build them, all of our drive lines will have Zerks in them.
Okay, now we're coming up on the skid plate.
And you've elected to put skid plates on it, so we sell a front skid plate, or we sell a rear skid plate, and front and rears. We also have a skid plate. There's one standing in the corner over there for the full gas tank. If a guy decides to put a skid plate on the gas tank.
Yeah,
so this incorporates
maybe in the future for that. And there's the transfer case itself. That's off of Ford 150?
Yep.
Okay. And any servicing on the transfer case?
Say, if you're going to be using it a lot, every 2 years you should change the fluid anyways. It only holds about 2 quarts of ATF, and it would be nice to keep clean fluid in them. But again, Ford, that's one of those things that Ford says, lifetime service on it. But same with the transmission. Transmission you should be doing every 2 years, at least sucking out what's in the pan, replacing it. Transfer case you should do every couple of years.
Okay.
Don't have to do them the same 2 years, but.
And then here we've got your new.
So that's our knuckle. The 2-inch lift is built into the knuckle. There's no blocks on the top up there. Caster and camber were corrected in this to make it 2 inches taller. We also added more caster to the bottom, which was a steering problem for transits. A lot of these guys running around with their 2-wheel drive transits wearing off the edge of the tire. It's because even the stock transit knuckle isn't quite right.
What happens with the turning radius?
Decreased. It's tighter by about 8 feet.
Oh, that's great.
Which is kind of nice out in parking lots and things like that.
And those are F-150 drive shafts there with the CV
Yeah,
joints?
so this is the brand new 1819 F-150 drive shaft. The IWE is brand new F-Series. Same with the differential, all complete diff. CV joints are F-150 joints. They're available through Dorman, through the aftermarket. Driveline Shop has them. The shaft itself is our own proprietary shaft for that, just for the length. And it is Ford, and it is Ford. It's not Chevy or something weird or modified machine piece, so it's easy to get.
Okay.
That's a better view of the frame.
Yeah, and you'll give me part numbers for all this.
Yep.
And
all F-150 rack, the joint up above and everything. This is all F-150 drive. Nothing really particularly custom in the steering. Even the components that build up the steering is F-150. And then you've got transit, and there's a homolog what do I say? There's an adapter between the two lines.
And what's the maintenance on these CV boots and joints?
Until they fail.
Okay.
And they could run hundreds of thousands of miles. So when this is in four-wheel drive, like right now, you see with the engine off, it's in four-wheel drive. Because there's no vacuum to the vacuum source here.
Right.
As soon as you start the car, the second you start the car, and you're not in four-wheel drive, it pulls vacuum on the hub, disengages the IWE, the wheel end hub. So it'll disconnect that, and then you'll go into two-wheel drive.
Great.
And these transfer cases do have neutral, and their neutral does not join the rear drive line to the front drive line like an F-350 does. F-350, you cannot put the T-case in neutral and drive the truck or drag the truck down the road with a tow truck without turning the front drive line. So you have to kind of be careful about that. These you don't.
Right. And we've got the Van Compass
really
intercooler skid
nice.
plate and the hitch receiver.
I think they did a really, really nice job. They mounted a little light that you provided for us, and that came out really neat. And
Smittybilt winch. And
works really nice.
Fairly low profile.
I mean, it's really structurally joined into the body. It's got nice structure in here that comes back into the body. So, yeah.
Let's take a look at how the four-wheel drive controls work. First, to shift from 2 high to 4 high, come to a stop, put it in neutral, reach down to your transfer case shift lever here, which is labeled 2 high, 4 high, neutral, 4 low. Just going to pull it up once to 4 high. There's a little green dash light there. I think you can see it right there. Comes on. I'm now in 4 high. Move it back into drive and proceed. If I want to shift out of 4 high, I don't need to come to a stop. I can just push down on the lever. Now I'm back in, oh, there go the hubs, and now I'm back in 2 high. To shift into 4 low, similar. Come to a stop, put it in neutral, pull down to go down to your transfer case lever, up, over, up again. Now in this case I can tell that it didn't go all the way in. The transfer case and the transmission gears don't line up, and we're changing gear ratios when we go into low. So I'm going to let off on the brakes a little, see if that's enough. And now when I pull up again, that was not enough. Interesting. Alright, so we'll put it into drive, back, pull up again. Now it went all the way in. So that was just enough to get the gears to line up. So there's a couple different ways you can get them. You know, as you just saw, I can let the van move a little, or I can shift it into drive and back. So that's in 4 low. We'll put it back in drive now and proceed. I do like this 4 low for challenging conditions where you really need to crawl with some torque and finesse. To take it out of 4 low, you do actually have to stop, unlike 4 high. So come to complete stop, put it in neutral, and come down here to the shift lever. And sometimes coming out of 4 high, same thing. You know, it doesn't want to realign. So in this case, I'm going to let go of the brake. that was enough. Now I'm back in too high. Let's talk about shifting on the fly. It is possible to shift on the fly. You have to do some prep first. So if you're in snowy conditions, for example, you're moving back and forth between 2 high and 4 high, and you know that's going to coming up, you want to lock in the hub. So you come to a stop, put it in neutral, and there's a hub switch that Quadvan installed here on the dash right here. It's now lit up. My hubs are locked, or they will be anyway, once the vacuum pulls them, lets them go. So now my hubs are locked, and at any moment I can pull up to engage 4 high while moving, so I'll do that. There, the dashboard light is lit up down there. I'm now in 4 high. When the slippery patch is passed, you just reach down, push down on it. Now you're in 2 high. You want to go easy on all these, you know, you can't just be grinding away on it, or if you're under a heavy amount of torque, it could be hard, but so ease up on the throttle when you're shifting on the fly. In 4 low, John says to keep the speed low. The engine's working hard and there's not a lot of airflow, things can heat up, so I'm thinking I'll keep it under about 15 or so. And that's it. That's the whole thing. If you want more information, I've got it on my blog, a little table summarizing the operation, pricing, and some photos, and have a look. sunlightandtrees.com. Thanks for watching.